This is all for Pradan Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading from Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanaභaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, 16th chapter, verses 1 to 12, executing the Payovrata process of worship. Text 1. Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, when Aditi's son, the demigods, had thus disappeared from heaven and the demons had occupied their places, Aditi began lamenting as if she had no protector. Text 2. After many days, the great powerful sage Kasyapa Muni arose from the trance of meditation and returned home to see the ashrama of Aditi neither jubilant nor festive. Text 3. O best of the Kurus, when Kasyapa Muni had been properly received and welcomed, he took his seat and then spoke as follows to his wife, Aditi, who was very morose. Text 4. O most gentle one, I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regards to religious principles. The Brahmanas, or the people in general, who are the subject of the whims of death. Text 5. O my wife, who are very much attached to the household life, if the principles of religion, economic development, and the satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in the household life, one's activities are as good as those of the transcendentalist. I wonder whether there have been any discrepancies in following these principles. Text 6. I wonder whether, because of being too attached to the members of your family, you failed to properly receive uninvited guests who therefore were not welcomed and went away. Text 7. Homes from which guests go away without having been received, even with an offering of a little water, are like those holes in the fields which are the homes of jackals. Text 8. O chaste and auspicious woman, when I left home for the other places, where were you in so much anxiety that you did not offer oblations of ghee into the fire? Text 9. By worshipping the fire of the Brahmanas, a householder can achieve the desired goal of residing in the higher planets. For the sacrificial fire and the Brahmanas are to be considered the mouth of Lord Vishnu, who is the super soul of all the demigods. Text 10. O great minded lady, are all your sons faring well? Seeing your withered face, I can perceive that your mind is not tranquil. How is this so? Text 11. Aditi said, O my respected Brahmana husband, all is well with the Brahmanas, the cows, the religion, and the welfare of the other people. O master of the house, the three principles of Dharma, Artha, and Kama flourish in household life, which is consequently full of good fortune. Text 12. O beloved husband, the fire, guests, servants, beggars are all being properly cared for by me, because I always think of you. There is no possibility that any of the religious principles will be neglected. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So much, Mataji, for reading translations today.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept humble obeisances and all wish Gurman Silver. Let me see. Let me offer a brief prayers and we'll start. Om Jnana 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 Shalaka Chakshurumvitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvisheshwanavadi Paschate Sarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. My voice is clear?
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, sorry I got a little late. I missed my first bus today, so that's why. So, it's a very nice section today. So, we'll briefly discuss about the context, and then we'll have like three themes primarily today. One theme is about what, as we practice in devotees, how do we conduct our grihastha life, with what goal, like that. That's the first theme. Second thing is about how the importance of receiving guests in our household life. That's the second theme. And the third theme is minor but important, which is how do we influence those in our life to do what we want. It sounds interesting, but also it sounds materialistic. But there's a important reason to do it, and the important nice way to do it also. So those are the three themes we'll discuss today. So I'll briefly discuss the context. Let me move it a little closer. So briefly discussing the context. So in the previous chapter, or even before going to previous chapter, in overall eighth canto, in the beginning we saw the Gajendra pastime. After that, we saw how Devatas lost their kingdom to the demons, and then they approached Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu guided them to do the churning of the milk ocean, and then they got the nectar. We heard about Mohini Murti form. Vishnu comes as in so many different ways to help his devotees, the demigods or devatas, like that. And then now demigods got the nectar, they're so powerful, and then demons fight with them. But the demigods are powerful, so they defeat them. So then that was in the 8th canto, 11th chapter. And then finally all the demons go away. And in fact, Bali Maharaj was actually dies. But then by the mercy of Sukracharya and with Sanjeevani mantra, he revives him again back to life. And then actually after that, few more chapters were covering different manvantras. So whole 8th canto, the main focus is different manvantras, what happened, like that. So we heard about all the manvantras, about them. And then Parishit Maharaj brings the conversation again. Can you tell me more about one Vamana pastime, like that? Of course, the questions he asks is a different way. The questions he asks is, why did Supreme Lord, who has everything, why does he ask only 3 pieces of land, like that? That's one question he asks. Another question he asks is, oh, even after getting everything for Bali Maharaj, why did he arrest him? That's how he asked him to explain the Vamana Dev story on their pastime, like that. So after hearing that, Sukadeva Goswami wants to narrate the Vamanadev pastime, appearance of Vamanadev. But before he gets to Vamanadev appearance, he's talking about why did Vamanadev come. That is the context in which we are in. So in that context, in the previous chapter, we heard how Bali Maharaj did a nice yagna with guidance from Sukracharya, his spiritual master. And he got the blessings of the spiritual masters. Because of the yagna and blessings of spiritual master, he got so much power. So he went and attacked Indrapuri, the heavenly kingdom. And then when he came, Indra was terrified, was scared. So Indra asked Brihaspati, his Indra's guru, what should we do? Should we attack or like that, he asked. Then Brihaspati said, Indra is very powerful now because he got the blessings of his spiritual master. So this is not a good time to fight with him. You lose only. So you all hide away. You all run away, like that. So Indra and all the devatas, they go away from heavenly planets, deserting the heavenly planet, and then Bali Maharaj comes and occupies the heavenly kingdom. That's where the previous chapter was ended, basically. The previous chapter was 15th chapter. Now, today we're starting the 16th chapter. Now, you might remember in very, very early chapters of 8th Canto, you might remember that Kashyap Muni had two wives, Aditi and Diti. And the children of Aditi are demigods or devatas. Children of Diti are demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, all those demons are children of Diti. But both have the same father, Kashyap Muni. So, now this chapter, the way it starts is, now this chapter is primarily describing what happened to Aditi, who is the mother of Devatas or demigods like that. Now we'll go to the details of the sections now. Yeah. So, in the first verse, Sukadeva Goswami is narrating to Parikshit Maharaj. He's saying, when all the demigods who are Aditi's sons, they disappeared from heaven and demons occupied their place, Aditi began lamenting as if he had no protector. This is important. So, just because her sons lost all the kingdom, she, oh my God, now there's nobody to protect me. My sons don't have anything to take care of me, like that. So she's feeling that there's no protection for me. So one important thing to note here is, irrespective of our situation, we can be sheltered and we can feel protection of the Supreme Lord. That is one thing as practicing devotees we need to cultivate. So we need to always evaluate the situation. So, oh my God, big disaster happened. Okay, so what? Does that interfere with my relationship with Krishna? That means Krishna will not protect me anymore? That means Krishna will not love me anymore? No, Krishna is always there as a shelter for us. Our loving relationship with Krishna is always there with us. So, when we remember that, our eternal position as Krishna's servant, our wonderful, friendly nature of Krishna as Suhrud, our best well-wisher, when we remember that, we can feel protection of Krishna in every situation in our life. Externally, it may appear very nice. Externally, it may appear very, very bad like that. But still, we can feel protection. But for a momentary time, Aditi felt there's no protection for her like that. So she's in grief now. That is what is going on. Now, in the second verse, after many, many days, the great powerful says Kashyap Muni. So now, Kashyap Muni was in trance meditation. So he was in the forest meditating. He's not in the home at that time. All these events happened. Kashyap Muni doesn't know. But Aditi is in grief, seeing that, oh, my son Indra lost his kingdom to the demons. Now they don't have any place to live. They're just hiding like that. Like that, Aditi is feeling. Kashyap Muni is happily doing his tapasu or meditation in the forest. Now, after so many days, he comes back home. And then he sees the ashram where they're staying, where Aditi is there. And he sees it's not a happy place, no jubilance, no festival mood like that. So, this is an important point to note here. When a husband returns home, the home atmosphere ideally needs to be clean and neat, and then somebody, ideally wife, should be ready to greet him with some smile and some sweet words, at least. So that way, home is a welcoming place for the husband to come in. And after the whole day of work, husband has a place of respite at home like that. So, but in this case, husband did not go for work, office work here. Kashyap Muni went for meditation. But he came back home. He saw atmosphere is not a happy place like that for some reason. So he starts to inquire. But when? We'll go through one more verse. That third verse, Sukadeva Goswami is still telling to Parikshit Maharaj. He's saying, Kashyap Muni has been properly received and welcomed. So, wife received him properly. Wife welcomed him properly also, even in the grief situation. Yeah. And then he took his seat. He sat at one place nicely. Then he started speaking to Aditi, whose face looked morose. Especially the face is called the index of mind. So when we are not in a happy situation, generally those who are little sensitive can make out, oh, this Prabhu is not happy today. What happened? This Mataji is not happy today. What happened? Like that. And more so, husband and wife. Because husband and wife, they've been living so close to together, then they usually can sense what is the mood of the other partner at that time. Husband can sense wife's mood, wife can sense the husband's mood at that time, like that. Even though they're not telling anything, even though they're not shouting, by the way they're having their face itself, they can make out, okay, today mood is not good, like that. So that similarly, Kashyap Muni understood that Aditi is morose for some reason, like that. Now, from fourth verse onwards, I think about 7 verses, Kashyap Muni tries to inquire, what is the reason for your despondency, like that he asks. Why are you so morose, like that he asks. Interestingly, if you remember in first canto, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Arjuna when he comes back from Dwaraka, because Arjuna is very morose, as Krishna left the planet already. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked so many different questions to inquire, why are you morose? Why are you not happy, like that? And that section also, we learn some interesting things. What are the interesting things? To be happy in this material world, by following prescribed duties, by following Vedic regulations, we need to do certain things. If you're not doing them, then happiness is not there. Even if somebody is following only karma yoga, not even bhakti. That's what we learn in this section. Similarly, in this section also, the instructions or the questions asked by Kashyap Muni to Aditi are not the highest cadre of bhakti. They are talking about karma yoga, normal practice of karma yoga. So, normal practice of karma yoga involves doing things for our own enjoyment, but by following Vedic regulations. Yeah, that's the overall theme we can remember, that his questions are geared towards following of karma yoga, which is following the Vedic regulations, like that. That doesn't mean they are bad. It means they're not the highest level of bhakti, but they are still very important for varnashrama system, like that. That thread we can remember while we go through these verses. Now, he's saying in this verse, this is actually, let me see which verse is, fourth. In the fourth verse, he is asking, O most gentle one, I wonder whether anything inauspicious has now taken place in regards to what? In regards to dharma, religious principles. Because if we are not happy, that means we may not be following religious principles properly. That is his reason for asking question. Anything inauspicious happen in regards to religious principles, number one, or anything inauspicious happen related to brahmanas or people in general. So Brahmanical culture surrounds around brahmanas and Vedic regulations. So he asked first, anything happened related to Vedic regulations not properly, anything related to brahmanas, or just people in general, like that. So generally, the prescribed duties of everybody is to protect the Brahmanical culture, especially for brahmanas. Prabhupada writes in the purport. So, uh, so essentially, Kashyap Muni is asking, did we miss anything? Did we not do anything properly in terms of following regulative principles, like that? So the lesson for us in this section is the Bhishma Dev's teaching from first canto, where Bhishma Deva talks about 3 things that a person needs to do. One is following the dharmic principles properly. So that is what is being highlighted in this verse. Of course, just for revision, The other two things Bhishma Dev talks about were taking guidance from Brahmana Vaishnavas in life. That is the second thing. And third thing is doing everything for Krishna's pleasure, for serving Krishna, to please Krishna, like that. So again, the three things. One is following the religious principles properly. Second is under the guidance of a bona fide Brahmana Vaishnava. And then third is to do everything for pleasing Krishna, like that. So now here in this verse, he's highlighting, did we miss any religious principles while I'm out? Like that he's asking. So now, for us, what are the regulations we follow as Bhakti Yogi? They may be different, but essentially the principle is same, which is we follow the regulations that are favorable for Bhakti. That is the principle. That includes getting up early in the morning, taking a bath in the morning, and chanting of the holy name, offering deity worship, hearing regularly, reading scriptures regularly, serving Vaishnavas, uh, offering bhoga to Krishna and accepting only prasadam. All these are religious principles for us as Bhakti Yogi. But in this section, they're talking about the Karma Yoga level. Yeah. In the next verse, he says, this is an important verse. This verse is verse number 5, I think. Yeah, verse number 5. There's a term Kashyap Muni uses in referring to Aditi. The term he uses is Griha Medini, like that. And Srila Prabhupada focuses on that word in the purport. He says, "Oh, my wife, who are very much attached to household life, if the principles of Dharma, Artha and Kama are properly followed in Grihastha life, household life, then one's activities are as good as a transcendentalist. I wonder if there is any discrepancy in following these principles, like that is saying." So, you notice he's not talking generally. Purusharthas are Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. He's not referring to Moksha yet. But he's saying somebody's householder, Grihastha, needs to, even though they're not yet there, to practice bhakti, do everything for pleasing Krishna. At least at Karma Yoga level, they need to follow Dharma, try to get Dharma, Artha, Kama by following the religious principles. Is there any discrepancy in doing that? He's asking now. Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport. And this is the most important thing for this session today. This is the most important theme for the session today. Basically, Prabhupada defines Grahamedi as a person who is satisfied in household life for sense gratification. That means a person, let us say I'm a Grahamedi, I'm conducting the household life, taking care of wife, taking care of children, taking care of my parents, taking care of my sister, taking care of my relatives. But I'm doing all that so that I can be happy in terms of my sense gratification. If that is the purpose of my doing everything like that, if that is my ultimate goal, it may be surprising to you, but I've seen many people, their goal in life is only to take care of the family, nothing else. And they think they're very selfless, they're very nice person. They're only doing everything for the family, they're doing sacrifices for family. Actually, Prabhupada calls it as extended sense gratification, extended selfishness. Because their purpose of doing that also to feel, oh, I did my job well, I'm great, like that. But that doesn't mean we should not take care of the family. Taking care of the family is very important. It's a prescribed duty for all of us. Because by Krishna's arrangement only we got family members. So we need to take care of them nicely. And not only take care of them only with bodily needs, we need to take care of their emotional needs also and spiritual needs also. That's important for us to do. But what is wrong is being conveyed in this purport and this verse is that thinking that that is the ultimate goal of life. My goal of life is to be happy always. Happy how? Happy by sense gratification. Goal of life to be happy is okay. Then we need to find out the right way of becoming happy. But instead, I'm thinking by giving a nice cushion to my hand, by seeing nice things, by hearing nice things, by eating nice things. That is the only way for ultimate goal of life. Be happy with sense gratification. Then that is called gruhamedi. Why? Because that means I'm wasting the valuable human life that is given. In fifth canto, we heard Rishabdev teachings talking about how even this sense gratification, happiness that comes from sense gratification, is there for animals also, birds also. What is the big deal? I'm a human being. Only big deal is animals do it in the street, but I do it in nice AC home or AC office, and I live like that. That's the only, if that is the only difference, then I'm not using the real intelligence to solve the problems of life, to become happy eternally. Whereas animals are thinking, I want to be happy right now. What can I do to become happy? What can I do to become happy? That's all they're thinking. Immediate happiness. If you're also thinking about only immediate happiness through sense gratification, then there's no real difference between animals and human beings. That's what scriptures say. Then what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to find a solution where I can be really happy permanently, always, not just for one day, 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years, 20 years. Because after 20 years, I'll become so old that I'll get hand pain, I will get leg pain, I cannot sit properly, I cannot sleep properly, I cannot move properly when sleeping, I cannot offer obeisances before Krishna when I go to temple fully with Dandavat Pranam. So many things will have problems. So whatever happiness we get in this life through sense gratification is not permanent. It's only temporary. Whereas we need to find a solution for real happiness, which is there in devotional service. What that means is, instead of getting caught up with office time, office life, home, taking care of the home things, taking care of this, taking care of that, only that our time should not be gone completely with that only, with the personal responsibilities and duties only. We should allocate time so that we can do bhakti also in our life. That means we have time for doing our chanting, time for doing our hearing, time for doing our reading, time for doing some seva, like that. So we need to ensure we have time for that. Then, when do we do that? When we understand my goal of life is not just sense gratification to be happy for 1 year. My goal of life is to be permanently happy. To do that, I need to engage in service of Krishna. That's the only way I can be permanently happy. So then when we realize my goal of life is to be engaged in devotional service of Krishna, ultimately, always, then we conduct our life in such a way that we value that goal and we allocate time for that goal, we allocate energy and enthusiasm for that goal. Not that we spend all the time in life in office work and then we don't have any time for bhakti. So this light went away. So I'm trying to see if light will come. Let me see 1 minute. So we ensure there's a time left, the quality time left, not some time left. Quality time left where we can do some bhakti also, like that. So I didn't see the time. Oh, 7:34 already. Yeah. So this is the first theme today. Going to the next few verses. Sixth verse is asking, yeah, from here the second theme starts, which is guest reception nicely. So he's saying, did you receive any atiti, uninvited guests, but you did not welcome them properly, where you did not even get up, where you did not give them, in the purport Prabhupada is elaborating, where you did not offer them a seat also, where you did not offer them some water also to drink, where you did not offer some sweet words also. These are the minimum things we need to do when guest comes. Offer sweet words at least, and then offer a glass of water if they would like to have. If they'd like to have some prasadam at that time, that's best. Even you can offer some prasadam, or at least a seat for them to sit, so peacefully. Like that, he's asking whether you did not invite guests properly, whether you did not take care of guests properly. Like that, he asks for next few verses. And the next verse, he asks, did you not put ghee in the fire sacrifice? That means in the olden days, especially those who practice karma yoga, they follow certain rules. One of the rules is every day they need to do Agnihotra Yagna, fire sacrifice like that. Did you miss to do it? Like that, he's asking all the questions now. These are all centered around prescribed duties. Did you miss to do and prescribed duties like that? And he says, did you not take care of any brahmanas? If you feed brahmanas, brahmanas' mouth is like mouth of Vishnu. Vishnu accepts the food from brahmanas' mouth. Did you not take care of any brahmanas? Like that is asking. Then the last question he asks is, are all your sons not doing well? Are all your sons not faring well? Seeing your withered face, I can understand that your mind is not peaceful. Why is it so? That's where he ends all the questions. Essentially, the questions are around, did you not do your prescribed duties according to Vedic regulations for Dharma, Artha, Kama? Did you not take care of guests who came home properly? And are your sons not doing well? Those are the essential broad categories he asked. Why you are morose like that? So the last two verses for today, Aditi starts to respond. That verses will be continued tomorrow. Sri Krishna Prabhu will describe tomorrow Aditi how she responds to Kasyap Muni's questions. Now we'll cover one small theme in this section. In the 11th verse, Aditi is saying, "Oh, my respected Brahmana husband, all is well with Brahmanas. Brahmanas are well taken care of. Cows are well taken care of. Religious principles are well taken care of. Welfare of other people is also well taken care of. So, no worries in that front," like that she's saying. That is the first thing she says in 11th verse. Now, 12th verse, which is the last verse for today, she says, even fire, sacrificial fire is also well taken care of. Guests who came to home are also well taken care of. Servants and beggars are also cared for me properly by me. This is the important theme I wanted to highlight. Why everything went well even though you went away? Because I always think of you. There's no possibility that any of the religious principles will be neglected. Because I remember you. I think about you always. That's why I take care of religious principles nicely. In simple words, he says, saying that. This is very important for those of us who are parents, those of us who have some relationships in our life, in our family, with our friends like that. So, for this, I'll explain this principle in two different angles. One is when we have a nice, loving relationship with our guru, nice, loving relationship with our mentor, then when they give us some wisdom, some knowledge, some good principles to follow in our life, then we don't deviate from those principles because we love our mentor, because we love our guru, because we value our guru. So similarly, when we develop a nice relationship with the guru and mentor, then we can follow the bhakti process nicely, because they will be pleased when I follow bhakti process nicely. That is one angle. Okay. Similarly, second angle is even in family life. What we are getting from our relationship with our guru, we need to extend to our juniors, our subordinates, our dependents. That's the right word. Our dependents, like our children, our wife, like that. So that way, when they feel the love coming from us, when they feel, when they understand what we love, what we like, then we don't have to repeat the same instructions to them many times, because they can see the love from us, because they know what we like. They will follow what we want. That's an important principle to learn also. That means in our relationships, we need to extend the love, and then we need to share occasionally when the situation comes what we like. That way, for example, we like them to practice devotion nicely. We like them to follow four regulative principles nicely. More than telling them every day about four regulative principles, give them love, enough love. So that way, when they're about to do something bad, they think, oh, my daddy doesn't like it. I don't want to disturb him. I don't want to let him down. I want to do nice thing in my life so that he never feels bad. Oh, my son is doing like this, like that. So like that, that's another angle to look at. So we conquer others by love, not by giving punishment, not by giving strict orders like that. Yeah, that's the third theme today. So essentially, from the storyline, we heard that Kashyap Muni came back to home and he saw Aditi very grieving, Aditi very morose, not so happy. So he asked different questions why she is not happy. Then Aditi started to explain that religious principles are all fine, especially because she thinks about him always, so she cannot go wrong in religious principle anyways. That's where we stopped from the storyline today. So we'll continue tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kupasindubhyavcha, Paditanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I'm sorry we started a little late today.